से तुझको है देखा तू मेरी खामोशी है तू मेरी मदहोशी है तू मेरा है अफसाना making me so happy shaking my body तू है आवारा धड़कन तू है रातों की तड़पन तू है मेरी दिल जाना everything about you baby I like it तेरी जुल्फों के नीचे मेरे ख्वाबों की जन्नत तेरी बाहों में आके बेचैनी को मिलती राहत my only wish is if I ever could make you mine everyone pray with me now all day
What does luxury mean to you?
Luxury. In India, I discovered that true luxury isn't something you buy off a shelf. True luxury is a feeling that you are the Maharani of your world. And it can be all designed around you. All the beauty is yours. All the music is yours. India showed me that luxury doesn't follow designers and brands. True luxury follows its own heart.
Incredible India.
People ask me what culinary school I went to. My answer is India. I learned that you don't add masala just to the food. You add it to everything you do. I learned that flavour is more than a taste. It's a sight, it's a sound, it's a science. In India, I found the secret masala spices that make all the difference. The joy with which you cook. The love with which you serve.
Incredible India.
Reincarnation. India showed us what it's really about. India, it's so alive. Ayurveda had to be born here. Life flows through the air here, healing the body, reawakening the spirit. Ayurveda showed us you don't have to wait for reincarnation. You can be reborn in this life.
Incredible India.
Namaste. At Bafton Thompson, we're able to touch lives and make a difference within the community. Being a family-owned and run business, we value the opportunity to support the Manukau Diwali Festival. From the Bafton Thompson family to each of your families, we wish you a happy and prosperous Diwali.
Focus, Samir! Don't let him intimidate you, beta! He's tiny, Samir! Yes! Well done, Samir! Oh, that's my boy! I love you, beta! Oh, yes!
From acorns grow great
Cricketers! He is just like a young Tendulkar.
Abby, focus.
Like a young Tendulkar?
Hey, Samir, all I think we need to do is just remember to watch the ball all the way.
Come on, India!
Come on, Black Caps!
Come on, India!
Yes!
Huge blow for India.
We can do this.
Straight bat, chin up, eyes front.
Beta, you could play for India.
I like that one.
That's really
Amen.
Hoi, Samir. I got a new jersey.
Suits you, Papa.
Indian Weekenders' heart beats in Auckland's Buzzy Onehunga, and its pulse is felt far and wide across Aotearoa and beyond by the Kiwi-Indian community. From humble beginnings in 2009, Indian Weekender is now a top-of-the-mind brand among ethnic media outlets in Aotearoa.
Now in its 13th year, the Indian Weekender has continuously reinvented itself, ever widening its content offering on every digital mass media platform. It continues to raise the bar when it comes to reporting an issue that matter to our local community. The Indian Weekender echoes the voice of the Kiwi-Indian diaspora across Aotearoa.
While many media houses were forced to go out of print during all levels of lockdown, the Indian Weekender has stood the test of these challenging times, never shying away from talking to the members of the public, community leaders, government ministers, and addressing the community's concerns at every level.
This past year has seen the Indian Weekender achieving significant milestones, including bagging Facebook's Elite Meta Journalism Project's Accelerator program, led and designed by the social media giant and operationalized on the ground by the International Centre for Journalists, ICFJ. In another achievement, Indian Weekender received funding from New Zealand On Air to support public interest journalism.
Our team has grown this past year with reporters now in Wellington, Christchurch and Hamilton. We bring exclusive breaking news, live coverage of ministerial press conferences and much more to keep our ethnic communities well informed throughout the year. We are continuously working to enhance our digital offerings by creating new video programs to keep pace with the ever-changing post-COVID media landscape.
The Migrant Journey and Off the Record are two new shows that are becoming hugely popular. Walk in the Park for those interested in politics, and Lunch with Business Leaders for those who wanted to follow business developments. Other popular digital offerings are Weekender on Sunday, the Daily News Bulletin, Weekender at 5 and Weekend Pe Charcha. To cater to our regional audiences, we have shows in several Indian languages, including Telugu, Tamil, Punjabi, Marathi and Gujarati. Our partnership with almost every major event organizer, including Auckland Unlimited, has helped us strike a direct dialogue with the community and understand how it engages in the event space, be it a Bollywood show or Diwali.
The Indian Weekender has consistently strived to be the trusted voice of the community, transcending the language and demographic barrier, and thankfully, our audiences have honored us with this privilege and responsibility.
The team at the Indian Weekender continues to innovate, connect, and engage with our audiences to remain relevant in what we do every day: produce and serve news and content. The Indian Weekender.
Read, watch, engage.
कैसा प्यार तू जताए, कैसे पास मेरे आए, कैसा प्यार तू जताए, कैसे पास मेरे आए, मैंने बाहों ते दिल की चोरियां तेरी हो गईं। दिखड़ा तेरा मुख देखिया रूह होई आ दीवानी, अखां विच नींदर ना पैंदी, दिल विच आ बेचैनी। इंज करा तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी, इंज करा तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी। कदे कदे मैनू भुख नहीं लगदी, कदे कदे मैं बहुत ही खावा, कदे कदे तेनू दूर मैं करदा। तू आके देख ले ओ मैंने रातें कितनी सारी तेरी यादों में गुजारी, सोनिए सोनिए तू आके देख ले ओ मैंने रातें कितनी सारी तेरी यादों में गुजारी, सोनिए सोनिए। तो आ गए हम, तो आ गए हम, तो आ गए हम सनम, तो आ गए हम, तो आ गए हम, तो आ गए हम सनम।
DJ Ricky.
चम चम अंबरा दे तारे कहंदे ने सजना, मेरी नास नहीं दिल मेरा, तू ही चन मेरे इस दिल दा मन लवे सजना, तेरे पीछे पागल है, तेरे बिना मेरा होवे ना गुजारा। सांसों में तू, एहसासों में तू, छड़ के ना जावे मैनू।
What does luxury mean to you? Luxury. In India, I discovered that true luxury isn't something you buy off a shelf. True luxury is a feeling that you are the Maharani of your world. And it can be all designed around you. All the beauty is yours. All the music is yours. India showed me that luxury doesn't follow designers and brands. True luxury follows its own heart.
Incredible India.
People ask me what culinary school I went to. My answer is India. I learned that you don't add masala just to the food. You add it to everything you do. I learned that flavour is more than a taste. It's a sight, it's a sound, it's a science. In India, I found the secret masala spices that make all the difference. The joy with which you cook, the love with which you serve.
Incredible India.
Reincarnation. India showed us what it's really about. India, it's so alive. Ayurveda had to be born here. Life flows through the air here, healing the body, reawakening the spirit. Ayurveda showed us you don't have to wait for reincarnation. You can be reborn in this life.
Incredible India.
Namaste. At Bafton Thompson, we're able to touch lives and make a difference within the community. Being a family-owned and run business, we value the opportunity to support the Manukau Diwali Festival. From the Bafton Thompson family to each of your families, we wish you a happy and prosperous Diwali.
Focus, Samir! Don't let him intimidate you, beta! He's tiny, Samir! Yes! Well done, Samir! Oh, that's my boy! I love you, beta! Oh, yeah!
From acorns grow great
Cricketers! He is just like a young Tendulkar.
Like a young Tendulkar?
Hey, Samir, all I think you need to do is just remember to watch the ball all the way.
Come on, India.
Come on, Black Caps.
Come on, India.
Yes!
Huge blow for India.
Yes!
We can do this.
Straight bat, chin up, eyes front.
Beta, you could play for India. I like that one.
That's really good.
Man.
Hi, Samir. I got a new jersey.
Suits you, Papa.
Indian Weekender's heart beats in Auckland's Buzzy Onehunga, and its pulse is felt far and wide across Aotearoa and beyond by the Kiwi-Indian community. From humble beginnings in 2009, Indian Weekender is now a top-of-the-mind brand among ethnic media outlets in Aotearoa.
Now in its 13th year, The Indian Weekender has continuously reinvented itself, ever widening its content offering on every digital mass media platform. It continues to raise the bar when it comes to reporting an issue that matter to our local community. The Indian Weekender echoes the voice of the Kiwi-Indian diaspora across Aredern.
While many media houses were forced to go out of print during all levels of lockdown, the Indian Weekender has stood the test of these challenging times, never shying away from talking to the members of the public, community leaders, government ministers, and addressing the community's concerns at every level.
This past year has seen the Indian Weekender achieving significant milestones, including bagging Facebook's elite Meta Journalism Project's Accelerator program, led and designed by the social media giant and operationalized on the ground by the International Centre for Journalists, ICFJ. In another achievement, Indian Weekender received funding from New Zealand On Air to support public interest journalism.
Our team has grown this past year with reporters now in Wellington, Christchurch, and Hamilton. We bring exclusive breaking news, live coverage of ministerial press conferences, and much more to keep our ethnic communities well informed throughout the year. We are continuously working to enhance our digital offerings by creating new video programs to keep pace with the ever-changing post-COVID media landscape.
The Migrant Journey and Off the Record are two new shows that are becoming hugely popular. Walk in the Park for those interested in politics, and Lunch with Business Leaders for those who wanted to follow business developments. Other popular digital offerings are Weekender on Sunday, the Daily News Bulletin, Weekender at 5, and Weekend Pe Charcha. To cater to our regional audiences, we have shows in several Indian languages, including Telugu, Tamil, Punjabi, Marathi, and Gujarati. Our partnership with almost every major event organizer, including Auckland Unlimited, has helped us strike a direct dialogue with the community and understand how it engages in the event space, be it a Bollywood show or Diwali.
The Indian Weekender has consistently strived to be the trusted voice of the community, transcending the language and demographic barrier, and thankfully, our audiences have honored us with this privilege and responsibility.
The team at the Indian Weekender continues to innovate, connect, and engage with our audiences to remain relevant in what we do every day: produce and serve news and content. The Indian Weekender.
Read, watch, engage.
Check. Kia ora, tēnā koutou, namaste, and good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the 9th edition of the Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame, the biggest annual event in the Kiwi-Indian calendar, where the brightest, highest achievers of the Kiwi-Indian community and their achievements are feted and celebrated. As well as the 3 awards that will be presented tonight, we'll also be launching a new book commemorating 75 years of India's independence. And like every year, we have some great entertainment throughout the evening. So everyone, we'd love for you to come on in, take your seats, sit back, relax, and enjoy the most prestigious event in the Kiwi-Indian calendar. We welcome our chief guest for tonight, Honorable Prime Minister Jacinda Aredern, and our very special guest of honor. Welcome once again to our very special chief guest for tonight, Honorable Prime Minister Jacinda Aredern, and our very special guest of honor, India's Honorable Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Please, everybody, take your seats. We have a few statutory housekeeping rules to announce before we get on with this evening's program. We request everyone to keep seated through the entire proceedings this evening in the interest of safety. In case of a fire alarm, please follow the banquet staff who will lead you to the exits. There's restrooms right outside of the pre-function area. And of course, there's no smoking or vaping allowed inside. Once again, we request everyone to refrain from moving around the room, please, until the announcement of the conclusion of the official proceedings are made. Welcome again to our guests of honor, Prime Minister of New Zealand, the Right Honourable Jacinda Aredern, and our very special guest of honor today, the Honourable Dr. Jaishankar, India's Minister of External Affairs, who's with us all the way from New Delhi. Thank you both for your time to be with us tonight. Thank you, Prime Minister, for gracing us with your presence as you've done in previous years. And thank you, Dr. Jaishankar, as well, for coming all the way from India to be with us here tonight. We're honored by your presence here at the Indian Weekender Kiwi Hall of Fame, an event that's so looked forward to by all of us here, Indian New Zealanders and beyond, every year. Thank you so much. Kia ora, everyone. My name is Kadambri Raghukumar, and I'm your MC for tonight, if you haven't figured that out as yet. On behalf of the Indian Weekender Hall of Fame, it's my absolute pleasure to also welcome High Commissioner of India in New Zealand, Neeta Bhushan, Auckland Mayor Phil Goff, Ministers of the Crown and Members of Parliament, Nanaya Mahuta, Michael Wood, Priyanka Radhakrishnan, David Seymour, Damien Smith, Andrew Bailey, Mark Mitchell, Simon O'Connor, Simeon Brown, Melissa Lee, Deborah Russell, Erica Stanford, Paul Goldsmith, Helen White, Camilla Belic, Gaurav Sharma, Marama Davidson, Karen Shore, dignitaries, former inductees of the Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame, and to each and every one of you here who's with us to join us at this event tonight. It's fabulous to see all of you in this room together tonight, especially after the long and seemingly unending shadow cast by the pandemic these past couple of years. I'd also like to acknowledge our sponsors, without whom tonight wouldn't be possible. NIB, Barfoot & Thompson, ANZ Bank, Indian High Commission in New Zealand, Universal Granite, Kiwiana Immigration, Slumber Zone, 0800 Mandap, and 5 Star Print. Thank you, everyone. So, ladies and gentlemen, to start off tonight, we'd like to welcome to the stage artists of the group Kathakars for tonight's opening act. They're a dance group that showcases traditional Kathak with its Rangmanch initiative. They're here tonight to present this fusion of Kathak and a whole range of different folk dances from India. So let's welcome Kathakar NZ.
Pinga, Wasn't that fun? Let's try something else.
Well, that was fantastic. Let's give them a big hand. Fashionably late, but beautiful anyway, huh? Now, industrialist, philanthropist, media owner, just some of the words with which we describe him. He's the honorary consul of India in Auckland, the founder of the Indian Weekender and the Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame, and the owner of one of New Zealand's leading business product companies, CEMEX. He's a former chair of Foundation North and has held official positions in the India-New Zealand Business Council. He works quietly behind the scenes on a number of initiatives in the community and brings his passion for furthering India-New Zealand relations. Bhav is the recipient of the highest civilian award for overseas Indians by the Government of India, the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to invite Mr. Bhav Dhillon for his welcome address.
Thank you, Kadamri. Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Kia ora, and greetings to all. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Indian Weekender, I welcome you all to the Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame 2022. I'm honored to extend a very special and warm welcome to our chief guest, the very popular Prime Minister of New Zealand, the Right Honourable Jacinda Aredern. Prime Minister, we sincerely acknowledge you for your continued support of our diverse migrant communities. Our special guest of honor, the highly experienced, globally acclaimed External Affairs Minister of India, the iconic Padma Shri Dr. S. Jaishankar and his lovely wife, Mrs. Jaishankar. As a visit of this magnitude has happened, I think I might not get the exact number right, but some about 20 years, so I think he deserves another round of applause for that. Another special announcement, a very special welcome to the first Woman High Commissioner of India to New Zealand, Her Excellency Madam Neeta Bhushan. We would also like to welcome Honorable Phil Goff, Mayor of Auckland, Ministers Nanaya Mahuta, Michael Wood, and Priyanka Radhakrishnan, David Seymour, leader of the ACT Party, and we also have representatives, the leader of the National Party, Chris Luxon, couldn't be here, but we have other representatives of the National Party, led by Melissa Lee. And I also acknowledge and welcome all the other members of parliament from New Zealand's wonderfully diverse political spectrum who were named by Kadambari to start with. So, as we all continue to face unprecedented challenges and uncertainties at the global level, I start by sparing a thought for all those who have been irreversibly affected by these past events. But onwards and upwards, here we are in 2022, back with the celebratory grandeur Indians are well known for, as we will honor the trailblazers within our Kiwi-Indian community who have set a worthy example and will be role models to inspire our younger diaspora. Tonight, we celebrate the peace-loving, friendly migrant work ethic and the resultant success each one in this room has attained in their respective fields. As migrants, we, the people of Indian origin, have made our mark on every sphere of global influence, be it sports, be it business, arts, culture, politics, or last not the least, as CEOs of most of the top global companies today. We have also proven to be ambassadors of global peace and every day live and breathe the principles of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the ancient Indian doctrine, which translates, world is one family. Today is a momentous occasion in the journey of Indian Weekender as it completes 13 years, and with your steadfast readership is the undisputed leader in its field and lives true to its tagline it developed 13 years ago, Indian Weekender, the pulse of the Kiwi-Indian. As India celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which is 75 years of our independence, the hopes and aspirations of India have chartered a new direction under the leadership of our current Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. This re-emergence of New India has energized our diaspora as we all yearn to see India to reclaim its rightful, natural equilibrium on the global stage. At the risk of oversimplification, the two words that come to the top of my mind that could best describe India and Indians is sharing and caring. India and Indians live and breathe these ideals within our families, friends, workplaces, be it equitable distribution of vaccines, care for the environment, or some of the more trickier situations of geopolitics, or a closer to home, the very topical issue of a free and fair Indo-Pacific. Under the leadership of our Prime Minister in India, Mr. Modi, there has been a step change in the relationship with the diaspora. And as we all embark on the journey that will cover the next 25 years of India's independence, termed as Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, which will deliver to the world a developed India guided by the ideals of self-reliance and the spirit of international partnerships to attain excellence in every sphere and global peace. As part of celebrating our diversity, pluralism, heritage, and legacy, we will also shortly launch a book, Heartfelt Legacy of Faith, which pivots around the very special relationship of our Honorable Prime Minister with the Sikh community. This book is presented with the special loving efforts of the Delhi-based NID Foundation and both the patron Satnam Singh Sandhu and the founder Himani Sood have traveled all the way from India to be with us and are warmly welcomed. The idea of dedicating this book to our diaspora here in New Zealand was seeded on the 29th of April earlier this year, when I personally had the rare honor and privilege to be with our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his residence. The other book, Modi at 20, is a bouquet of thoughts and reflections of some very special people, including our Honorable Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar. This book celebrates the deeply rooted morals and ideals of democracy and how our Honorable Prime Minister has successfully nurtured and grown a democratically elected office, first as the Chief Minister of Gujarat and then as the Prime Minister of India for the past 20 years, and have proven beyond doubt that democracy is the best way forward for enduring peace, progress, and prosperity, not only in India, but around the world. The shared love of democracy, which is epitomized by both Right Honorable Jacinda Ardern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, and the Prime Minister of India, is a strong factor that defines the already blossoming relationship between our two nations, and furthered by the inseparable, I would say, the people-to-people bridge supported upon the shoulders of you all, our diaspora. So let me finish with a quote from the great Swami Vivekananda, which embodies the indomitable Indian psyche or our spirit, which says, "When I asked God for peace, he showed me how to help others." Namihi, thank you, God bless, and God bless both our countries. Jai Hind. Can I now request the AV to show a video on the books? Thank you.
Moments of sorrows and tears were scripted in our faith time and again, be it sacrificing our lives for our community or for our beloved nation. From the struggle for independence that called for our service, to the infamous massacre that squandered the peace at the Nankana Sahib, or from the never-to-be-forgotten Morcha Guru Ka Bagh, to the endless horror and misery caused due to partition 1947, or the tragedy that will haunt generations, 1984. The agony and pain of the nightmare gone by didn't subside with the passage of time, for the memories shivered the souls for years to come. At the turn of the decade, the year 2014 saw the dawn of a new era, gleaming the nation with a ray of hope.
Narendra Damodar Das Modi.
It is then the whiff of a calming breeze soothed our wounds, bringing relief and pleasure after a long time. Every decision and action from Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji was a reflection of his aura of love and affection. We were made to believe that he was sent by our Lord Almighty to show us the path of rejuvenation and for the welfare of all community, be it the affliction caused by the heinous massacre of 1984, or the ultimate wish of every Sikh to bow thy head at the Sri Kartarpur Sahib. The Government of India, under the able leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, has inked many historic rulings in the favor of the Sikh community, for giving the Sikh community the respect that they deserved and to acknowledge the contribution that he has made. We had compiled a book titled Heartfelt, The Legacy of Faith. This book is an ode to the efforts and work that the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has done for the betterment of the Sikh community. The goodwill journey that started on 14th April this year with the launch of Heartfelt, The Legacy of Faith, continued with the presentation of the book to Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji on 29th April. Continuing this remarkable journey, we organized Vishwa Sadbhavana in Chicago, USA, which brought together more than 500 eminent personalities from USA and India, including entrepreneurs, members of US Senate, corporate leaders, educationists, and spiritual leaders. striving to enhance and consolidate the bonds of fraternity and solidarity among people. We organized the second edition of Vishwa Sadbhavana in Melbourne, Australia, which saw a congregation of over 400 eminent personalities, including thought leaders, lawmakers, policymakers, and educationists. Today, as we gather here at the third edition of Vishwa Sadbhavana in New Zealand, we are delighted to welcome all our distinguished guests and present before you all a copy of this book which holds great significance for the Sikh community. Welcome on this journey of goodwill.
May I now invite patron of NID Foundation, Satnam Sandhu Hemani Sood, the founder of the NID Foundation, to the stage, please. I also invite Mayor Phil Goff and Honorable Dr. Jaishankar, along with the Indian High Commissioner, Neetha Bhushan, to please come up on stage to launch the book. May I invite Mr. Satnam Sandhu to say a few words, please?
नमस्ते, सत श्री अकाल। मैं सबसे पहले भाव और ऑर्गेनाइजर्स का थैंक्स करना चाहूँगा जिन्होंने इस बहुत ही प्रेस्टिजियस इवेंट में हमारी बुक को लॉन्च करने का हमें मौका दिया, और आप सभी का अभिनंदन करना चाहूँगा इस इवेंट में पधारने के लिए। जैसे भाव ने इंट्रोड्यूस कराया बुक के सब्जेक्ट के बारे में, सिखों के लिए हमारे आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो कार्य किए हैं, और दूसरी बुक मोदी है 20, जिसमें उनका जो शासन है, जो गवर्नेंस मॉडल है, उसके बारे हमारे ऑनरेबल फॉरेन अफेयर मिनिस्टर श्री डॉक्टर जयशंकर जी का भी चैप्टर है। तो दो पुस्तकें आपके लिए इंडिया से गिफ्ट लेके आए हैं। विश्व सद्भावना का एक मैसेज लेके आए हैं। डियर फ्रेंड्स, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने भारतीयों को बड़े सपने लेना और वो सपने साकार करना सिखा दिया है। देश आज़ादी के 75 साल की सेलिब्रेशन अमृत महाउत्सव के रूप में कर रहा है, और हमारे विजनरी प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने भारत को अमृत काल, आने वाले 25 साल जब इंडिया अपने 100 साल पूरे करेगा, तो अमृत काल का एक विज़न दिया है, और इंडिया विश्व गुरु बनने की ओर तेज़ी से बढ़ रहा है। मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लेता हुआ एक बार फिर ऑर्गेनाइजर्स का और आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा। पुस्तकें बाहर स्टॉल पे अवेलेबल हैं। मेरी रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप ज़रूर लेके जाइए, खुद पढ़िए, और ख़ास करके न्यू जनरेशन जो है, यंगस्टर हैं, उनको ज़रूर पढ़ाइए कि इंडिया की परसेप्शन जो है वो पहले से कैसे बेहतर हुई है, और पूरी दुनिया में इंडिया का जो सर है वो फ़ख्र से ऊंचा होने लगा। इन्हीं शब्दों के लिए साथ बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, सत श्री अकाल।
dignitaries now please launch the book? Thank you. May I request all of you to please remain seated for the next two speeches. We've been really looking forward to hearing from India's External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, who has been so much in the global headlines in recent times for his exceptionally astute diplomacy and leadership. Dr. Jaishankar holds an MPhil and a PhD in international relations, specializing in nuclear diplomacy. In his long and distinguished diplomatic career, he's been India's ambassador to the United States, China, the Czech Republic, as well as High Commissioner to Singapore and India's Foreign Secretary in New Delhi. The consummate diplomat that he is, he speaks English, Russian, Tamil, Hindi, Japanese, Mandarin, and some Hungarian. He was conferred the Padma Shri, India's fourth highest civilian award, for his contribution to the country's international affairs. Since 2019, he's been made India's External Affairs Minister, and his work is making a global impact, reflecting a brave, confident new India, offering technological, scientific, and healthcare solutions to the world, while also reclaiming its status as a true Vishwaguru, with its vast base and rich heritage. Welcome again, Honorable Minister.
Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Mr. Dhillon, Ministers, Excellencies, friends, Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Kia ora, good evening. It's a real pleasure to be with you this evening, and I'm really privileged to be part of a set of events, including the book release that you saw just now. I'm also very conscious that it's been a few years since the Foreign Minister has been here. I can only assure you that having held the job for just about 3 years, of which 2 years were constrained by the COVID, it's been my endeavor at least to come here, and this was the soonest I could come, and if I'd known what a welcome awaited me, I assure you I'd have been here much sooner. Today, I would like to talk to you about one of the two books we released just now, the Modi at 20. And I do so not because I'm one of the contributing authors, but also as that book tells you a lot about what's happening in India, the changes that are taking place, and the importance of the leadership and the vision that guides those changes. Sometime last year, a few of us were approached on a very interesting project. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was completing 20 years continuously as a head of government. This was putting together both his state and his federal tenures. And in democratic politics, this is not a small achievement because it requires successive mandates from the people. Indeed, from the time that Prime Minister Modi entered electoral politics, he has never lost. So we were asked to reflect not just on his political success, but the change that he embodies for India. And that is the volume that we present to you today. Now, rather than reinvent the wheel, I would like to share with you the words of its individual contributors. And do bear in mind that we come from different backgrounds, professions, and even opinions. So let me start with someone who every Indian bonds with, our greatest singer, Bharat Ratna, Lata Mangeshkar. Lata Mangeshkar writes that by temperament, Narendra Bhai is not what we conventionally imagine of a politician. From my various conversations with him, I sense that his pursuits are different. He has no attachment to power. His goals are larger, to be able to do something for the people of India. His passion lies in the fact that he wants the growth story to be meaningful for every person in our country. In India's history, the name of Mahatma Gandhi is etched in golden letters because he turned the entire freedom struggle into a mass movement. In the same spirit, Narendra Bhai is turning India's development journey into a mass movement. He is connecting every citizen of India to this goal. Now, if Modi has been 20 years in office, it's obvious that he's an extraordinary politician. But not just that, he's apparently a very different one. To understand that, let us turn to the insights offered by someone who's been a very close companion in this political journey. I speak here of our Home Minister, Amit Shah. In his words, many of Modi's programs in Gujarat, the bringing of Narmada waters from South Gujarat to Saurashtra, for instance, were conceptualized with a long view. Their gestation period ran into more than one electoral cycle. Modi worked not just for the next election, but the Gujarat of the next decade and the next generation. Expectedly, the BJP too became the political vehicle of Gujarat's development aspirations for the next decade and the next generation. Modi's reasoning and his very approach required direct and constant communication. He conveyed the benefits of government programs to different audiences and stakeholders, to varied people and communities. He encouraged the BJP to do likewise, talk to people rather than speak to the media. He used the demonstration effect with finesse. He offered evidence how a project was helping populations in subregions to give an idea of what would happen to other subregions and populations as the program was taken to its logical conclusion. At election time, he spelt out not just fresh promises, but shared a report card of what he had delivered against what he had promised 5 years earlier. Now, you all know that the digital transformation has been among the central features of the Modi government's development delivery and governance improvement. Its backbone is built on the Aadhaar card that has been so imaginatively applied across a range of domains. Nandan Nilekani, the moving spirit of the Aadhaar program, recalls meeting Modi as he went across the country evangelizing the idea of Aadhaar. He recalls his first meeting with these words. I noticed how spick and span his office was. It reminded me of the corporate office of Infosys. A 30-minute meeting went on for 90 minutes as he shared stories on how he had done development innovations in Gujarat and the many ways he was using technology. I did not have to explain much about Aadhaar. He grasped all the possibilities and the potential of Aadhaar. Of all my visits to various states and meetings with several chief ministers, he was the only one who understood that the Aadhaar document would reach 1.3 billion Indian residents, and therefore what was printed on that card was of strategic importance. There was not a single interruption during this 90 minutes, and he gave me his undivided attention. I came back feeling that I had met a very different kind of politician. Now, if Modi is associated with technology, his connection with correcting gender discrimination is no less powerful. The best account of that in this volume is by the medical entrepreneur Shobhana Kamenini, who brings out so much of what has happened because of the Prime Minister's personal conviction. The stories of girls' education, building toilets for them, replacing firewood cooking by gas, and initiating a massive financial inclusion program for women are all well known by now. But there are other bits which add texture to this narrative, from affordable sanitary pads to commissioning women in the armed forces. The badminton star, P.V. Sindhu, has a similar tale of exhortation and encouragement, this time from the perspective of the youth. She examines the paradox of how someone who's clearly not young and comes from a domain not attractive to the youth could still become their undisputed icon. The film actor Anupam Kher, whom all of you know so well, brings a very different perspective, one focused on Modi's commitment to ensure that Indians abroad are confident that the government has their back. He writes of Father Alexis Prem, a Jesuit priest from Tamil Nadu, who returned to India after being held captive by the Taliban for 8 months. The Ministry of External Affairs had confirmed that his release required efforts from the Prime Minister himself. In 2017, the Modi government ensured the release of Father Tom Uranil, a Vatican priest from India, who'd been abducted in Yemen. His release was secured through months of diplomatic negotiation. The Modi government conducted Operation Rahat to evacuate Indian nationals from Yemen when conflict and violence had escalated in 2015. Modi made a pivotal intervention in the rescue operation by directly reaching out to King Salman of Saudi Arabia and requesting safe passage for Indian evacuees by halting the bombing operations. Over 4,600 Indian citizens were safely brought back home through special flights in what was regarded as an immensely successful operation. Indeed, India's efforts were so effective that numerous countries, including the US and UK, sought our help to rescue their citizens. Eventually, India evacuated more than 900 foreign nationals from 41 countries. Even as this book came out, we were actually in the midst of another major extrication exercise called Operation Ganga. This related to 20,000 Indian students who were stuck in the fighting which is still underway in Ukraine. Reminiscent of the Yemen situation, Modi intervened directly this time with Presidents Putin and Zelensky to ensure a cessation of fighting for a designated window in 2 cities so that the students could leave safely. His commitment was similarly visible in the regular monitoring that he conducted of Operation Ganga, even though he was at that time in the midst of a major election campaign in Uttar Pradesh. The connect between Modi and the diaspora is very visible and serves as a great strength today for Indian foreign policy. Two prominent persons of Indian origin, Manoj Ladwa and Bharat Barai, who have long been associated with the Prime Minister, share their perspective in the book as well. In their words, people often ask us how Modi manages to fill huge stadiums, mostly out of fascination, but occasionally with suspicion. This is where the depth and breadth of Modi's fabled community connect has transcended Gujarat and the shores of India. A Modi visit brings together communities to make such events possible through what is possibly the most formidable global network of grassroots volunteers and community organizations. For instance, over 700 diverse organizations across the United States mobilized communities to make the Madison Square Garden event possible. And close to 500 small and big British Indian community organizations from diverse backgrounds came together to welcome Modi to the UK. These mammoth outreach programs have not appeared overnight. Modi has for decades built relationships from the base upwards, where he has kept in regular touch, maintained personal rapport, and enthused a genuine sense of pride and a can-do attitude among the very people who only a few years ago were regarded as not required in India by the Indian political elite. In the exercise of compiling this volume, I too had the privilege of sharing my experiences. Many of you would have heard how tough it is to keep pace with the Prime Minister. I saw how his energies were driven by a sense of mission. In pursuit of his goal to make India a leading power one day, Prime Minister is as demanding of himself, has been as demanding of the Indian system as he has been unsparing of himself. His visits abroad are legendary for their punishing schedule, a 5-day trip to Afghanistan, Qatar, Switzerland, the United States, and Mexico would probably rank as the toughest at that level. In his era, Indian diplomacy has learned to be more responsive, effective, practical, and ambitious. And this has happened due to the exhortative and motivational efforts coming from the very top. If our profile is higher, responsibility is greater, delivery better, and capabilities more recognized, much of the difference is due to the leadership. The Modi brand of travel is actually quite unique. Like everything else, it is dedicated to a larger goal. That Prime Minister Modi has little appetite for conventional sightseeing is well known. What I discovered accompanying him was how strongly experiences abroad were driven by the objective of identifying and absorbing best practices. The railway station we went to in Berlin fed into his modernization plans at home. The bullet train in Japan that we boarded actually ended up as a project in India. The convention centers that we spent time, each of them had a lesson to offer, even as we set about building our own. A cleaned up river in Seoul further strengthened our resolve on rejuvenating the Ganga. The public housing in Singapore was an input into our own affordable housing schemes. As a student of history, the Prime Minister reminded me of the Meiji-era reformers in Japan who contemplated the world through the lens of changes at home. One domain where the Prime Minister has broken new ground is the sharp projection of Indian culture on the global arena. The well-known author Amish Tripathi points out that India is a civilizational state, but many post-independence leaders were actually chary of seeing it as one. Prime Minister Modi has broken that mold. He sees a clear message we must remember who we are. This explains the initiative in the UN to recognize and celebrate the International Day of Yoga, or the effort to familiarize the world with the benefits of Ayurveda. For that matter, the reclaiming of India's Buddhist traditions and the development of the Ramayana circuit, the expansion of the World Heritage Sites and intangible heritage in India is just as important as the return of Indian antiquities back to the motherland. This approach extends to the contemporary era, such as the commemoration of the anniversaries of Guru Gobind Singh, Swami Vivekananda, Mahatma Gandhi, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, people who have shaped India's destiny over the ages. The right to practice faith across geography is another aspect reflected today in the Prime Minister's initiative to encourage the building of a temple in Abu Dhabi or seeking an expansion in the Hajj quota for Indian Muslims. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude by referring to the chapter of the writer Sudha Murthy, who many of you know as a social entrepreneur and a very well-known literary personality. She speaks of Narendra Modi as deeply rooted as a banyan tree, where every part is useful to others. But there a good leader stands, tall and all alone, without any benefit for himself or herself. These are leaders entrenched in ground reality with the aim to transform the destiny of their country and their people. And that, my friends, is the reason why Narendra Modi still inspires 20 years into the office and many more still to come. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Jaishankar, for your address. We're honoured to have with us tonight the Right Honourable Jacinda Aredern, Prime Minister of New Zealand, with us tonight. She's been recognised for her stellar achievements in India as well. And interestingly, people from other parts of the world have also expressed interest in having her come and take over and run their country. So may I now request the Prime Minister to come up on the stage and give her address, please.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi nui kia koutou and namaste. Good evening. It is truly wonderful and a real privilege to be with you all here this evening for the Hall of Fame Awards. And it's been my privilege to be able to attend many of these evenings over the past decade, and that makes it all the more special to finally return to full scale. I see tonight that the Indian Weekender has generously gifted 20 minutes of your time to me to speak to all of you. But having been to these awards on several occasions, I know all too well that tonight there are two very special reasons to be here. To hear from the External Affairs Minister, which is such a treat to have in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and also to honour the award winners. So this evening, I will be brief. To begin with, I do want to acknowledge the Kiwi-Indian community whose dedication, talent and passion we recognise this evening. And we view these awards in many ways as being emblematic of the contribution of 240,000 people of Indian descent living in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're honoured, as I said, to welcome this evening the Minister for External Affairs, Minister Jaishankar. I want to acknowledge that being the first to return to our shores as an External Affairs Minister in 20 years makes it all the more an honour to have you here this evening. I do think it speaks to the strengthening relationship between our two countries, and I know that together with our Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta, that you had a very significant and fruitful conversation today, as we briefly did before these awards this evening. I want to also acknowledge the High Commissioners, India and New Zealand, both here this evening. A treat to have you both in the room. Barb Dillon as Honorary Consul, Auckland Mayor Phil Goff, community leaders. And I do want to pay special tribute to the fact that you have representation so broadly across New Zealand's Parliament here this evening. I'm going to ask them briefly to stand. Our members of Parliament, not just Labour, all of them. Would you mind standing for a moment? Now, amongst these members of Parliament will be a range of different political views. However, there is a consistency amongst us all in that we see the value and importance of this relationship. And I think it's something to be proud of in New Zealand, that is something that is shared regardless of political persuasion. So I want to acknowledge all of those MPs. And now you know where to find them all as well, scattered around the room. I do want to pay special tribute to, though, this evening, our Minister of Diversity, Inclusion and Ethnic Communities, Priyanka Radhikrishnan. I want to acknowledge you, Priyanka, for your groundbreaking work as the first Minister of Indian origin in the history of New Zealand. But I also want to acknowledge you as a proud electorate MP of Mangakirkir and someone that I'm honoured to call both a colleague but also a friend. Finally, thank you again to the Indian Weekender. I know an event like this takes an enormous amount of effort, and year after year, you deliver for New Zealand. In many ways tonight, we celebrate here this evening the extraordinary, what sets individuals apart. But what we also celebrate are the many things that we have in common. This year, we mark the 70th anniversary of the formal diplomatic relationship between India and New Zealand. And we look to the opportunities that we have from this moment forward to strengthen our ties further. First and foremost, the integral bridge or foundation between our two countries, in my mind, will always be our people. The Indian community first settled in New Zealand in the 1890s, but has since become one of New Zealand's largest ethnic communities, accounting for about 5% of our population, and here in Auckland, even higher. It's no surprise that Hindi is our fifth most spoken language. We care about the same things. In an increasingly volatile world, we care for our democratic traditions. We share an interest in a peaceful and prosperous region, a deep concern about climate change, and a passion for celebrating our diverse cultures and sporting traditions. That underpins our economic relationship, with trade between our countries continuing despite the global challenges. And here, we must acknowledge the massive potential for growth. And while often the focus is on an FTA between our countries, today the Minister and I discussed the range of other opportunities that exist between us that have the potential to be just as economically beneficial, if not more so. And so with the reopening of the borders, we welcome the opportunity to re-engage, the opportunity that is exemplified by having the Minister of External Affairs here, and that follows on from last month visits by Minister O'Connor and Minister Faitiri to India as well. These engagements are a chance to deepen our relationships, but also progress our aspirations. Tonight, I want to conclude my brief remarks by commending everyone involved with these awards. When we lift one up, we inspire so many others to follow. And it's the job of everyone in this room to do just that. We have so many opportunities to do so with so many notable Kiwi-Indians in our midst. Suranand Satyanand, a former Governor-General of New Zealand and a Chancellor at the University of Waikato, neuroscientist and co-chair of the Huntington's Disease Youth Organisation, Dr. Malvinder Singh, who has been recognised here before also, founder and director of New Zealand's largest independent primary healthcare provider, Ranjana Patel. Across health, cultural governance, law, politics, there are outstanding contributions to our community and to New Zealand. You bring us optimism, you bring us hope, you bring us joy. Thank you for the privilege of being amongst you this evening. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
May I request the Prime Minister to kindly remain on stage. Thank you, Prime Minister. So now, to celebrate India's 75th year of independence, New Zealand Post has issued a postage stamp So may I request Prime Minister Aredern and Dr. Jaishankar to kindly release the stamp. Now may I request Prime Minister to kindly felicitate Dr. Jaishankar with a koru, symbolic of growth and harmony. Thank you. May all the dignitaries now proceed back to your tables, please. Thank you very much. Now presenting our second performance tonight, our Bhangra Fitness all the way from Christchurch. They're a group of dance enthusiasts who are making their way up by living the true spirit of Bhangra, showcasing it to broader audiences with a modern touch. Let's welcome Bhangra Fitness.
Check this out.
ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਉਹ ਚੰਨ ਦੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਬੱਦਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਭੈਣ ਸਰ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਗਿਰਦੀ ਬਚਦਾ ਵੀ ਕੱਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਡਰ ਕੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਉਹ ਸਿੰਡਰੇਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਆਇਆ ਦਿਲ ਮੇਰਾ ਘੁੰਗਰੂ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਨਚਾਇਆ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਲਾ ਕੱਟੜ ਪਾਇਆ ਲੁਧਿਆਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਹੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਲਾਇਆ ਲੁਧਿਆਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਹੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਲਾਇਆ ਤੇਰੇ ਤੱਕ ਕੇ ਗੋਰੀਏ ਨੈਣ
Crazy, crazy, shawty, take it slow, then chitty, chitty. Come on, baby, be my jalebi, baby.
Hey, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi, baby. Baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. Oh, I really need it. Jalebi. Oh, baby, let me see it. Jalebi, baby. I just wanna eat it. Jalebi, I know the things that you like.
Now, it's our pleasure to have amongst us Tamaki Makaurau Mayor Phil Goff, an old friend of the Kiwi-Indian community, the Indian Weekender, and a tireless ambassador of multicultural Tamaki Makaurau and Aotearoa, New Zealand. He's graced the Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame with his presence as Mayor of Auckland and as MP in previous years. It's very special to have him with us tonight, and this is his final year as Mayor of this great city that we all love so much. May I invite you, Mayor, to the stage to share your thoughts with us tonight.
Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar, Temcho, Vanakam, Kia ora koutou, tēnei te mihi nui kia koutou, and good evening, everybody. Well, those performers are a very hard act to follow, and I'm following two very distinguished speakers, so it is appropriate that I should be brief tonight. But can I first of all acknowledge Prime Minister Jacinda Aredern, and it's great that you've been able to be with us tonight in a very busy schedule. To our ministers, to Nanaya Mahuta, to Michael Wood, Priyanka Radhakrishnan, to our members of Parliament, most particularly to Dr. Jaishankar, the Minister of External Affairs for the world's largest democracy, and your wife Kyoko. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we are really privileged to have the Minister here, to have the conversations that will bring our nations closer together, two nations with a strong belief in democracy and a belief in the human rights associated with that. And as we face a world that is going through a difficult time, it's good that our two countries can stand together and promote the values that we equally agree with. To our new High Commissioner from India, Her Excellency Nita Bhushan. High Commissioner, welcome to New Zealand, and also David Pine, our New Zealand High Commissioner to Delhi. To Bhav Dillon, of course, as our Honorary Consul in Auckland, and the Managing Director of the Weekender. It's a very special thing for us to be back together after the restraints that were needed under COVID-19, that we can come together and we can celebrate the awards for the Hall of Fame, that we can celebrate those people who have achieved excellence, who have shown leadership, have shown the skills and the commitment to do the best in their fields and to work on behalf of our communities. So a warm congratulations to all of the nominees and to those who were successful in getting the awards tonight. Can I say finally that this Saturday in Aotearoa Square, we launch this year's Diwali, and it's very special for me because my first official engagement as Mayor of Auckland was Diwali in 2016, and my last official occasion equally will be to celebrate with you the victory of light over darkness, of good over evil, and I can't think of a better way to finish my mayoralty. To all of you here tonight, it's been a pleasure and a privilege over, I think now, 41 years to work with you, to work for you, and to enjoy your friendship and your support. So as I leave this role now, thank you very much for that support. Thank you for working together with us to make a better community.
Thank you to the whole of the Indian community for your contribution to our society, bringing the richness of your culture, the energy and the entrepreneurial skills that you have that makes Tamaki Makaurau a stronger city and New Zealand Aotearoa a better place for all of us to live together. So thank you very much. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor Philgoff. Can we have another round of applause for the outgoing mayor, please? Thank you for all your work through the years. The first award tonight is the Community Excellence Award. This award is about recognizing and felicitating some of the most dedicated personalities who've worked steadily against all odds over long periods of time in the area of community service. May I request dignitaries, members of Parliament, Honourable Paul Goldsmith, David Seymour, Melissa Lee, Damien Smith, Andrew Bailey, Dr. Gaurav Sharma, Helen White, and Camilla Belic to come on stage to give away the first big award of the night, the Indian Weekender Community Service Excellence Award. Melissa Lee to announce the recipient of the Indian Weekender Community Service Award and invite David Seymour to present the award.
You do realize I'm going to be giving the award out, announcing it, so the same cheer for the person who's winning. Community Service Excellence Award goes to Rupa Suchdev.
Namaste. I would like to thank God first. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am humbled to receive this prestigious award. I am grateful to Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame jury for considering me worthy of Community Excellence Award, for which I am also thankful to Indian Weekender for giving me the opportunity to stand here, receive this honor. I would like to thank each and everyone who helped and supported me in my 26 years journey of community service. The award that I have received this will encourage me and motivate me to work harder, and I will definitely work hard. I can assure you that I will continue to serve the community to the best of my ability. Once again, I thank you. All the best from the bottom of my heart. I would like to say one Indian Hindi couplet that मेहरबान हो के बुला लो जब जी चाहे, मेहरबान हो के बुला लो जब जी चाहे, मैं गया वक्त नहीं जो आ ना सकूं. Thank you very much.
and congratulations to Rupa Sachdev. May I request the dignitaries to please proceed back to their seats now. And now it's time for the second award of tonight, the Community Organization of the Year. The Indian Weekender recognizes the wonderful work that our vibrant community organizations do for Kiwi Indians all across New Zealand. Many of those rose to the occasion during times like the COVID-19 crisis, serving their communities selflessly. These organizations are important as backbones of support, organizing social, cultural, sporting, and a wide range of events within communities that keep members' cultural moorings strong with their homeland. Some of them have been at it for over a century. May I request dignitaries, India's High Commissioner in New Zealand, Her Excellency Neeta Bhushan, Members of Parliament, Dr. Deborah Russell, Mark Mitchell, Simeon Brown, Erica Stanford, Simon O'Connor, and Karen Shore to please come to the stage. Request Erica Stanford to announce the Indian Weekender Community Organization of the Year and High Commissioner Neeta Bhushan to present the award, please.
All right, it is my great pleasure this evening to announce the Community Organisation of the Year to the Auckland Indian Association.
Firstly, a very big thank you to Indian Weekender for recognizing Auckland Indian Association for their services which we have contributed for more than 100 years. I would like to reflect and pay tribute to all our forefathers who in 1920 decided to form Auckland Indian Association when there were only a few hundred Indians in Auckland. I would also like to say a big thanks to all our present, past, presidents, officers, volunteers, and executive officers who have upheld the objectives of the Auckland Indian Association for more than a century. As president of this Auckland Indian Association, I'm very, very proud to receive this honor on behalf of the entire Indian community. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations once again. May we now request Prime Minister Jacinda Aredern to please join us on stage to launch the special issue of the Indian Weekender.
Team Weekender quickly.
We've now come to the night, that part of the night we've all been waiting for, the presentation of the Hall of Fame ceremony. Kiwi-Indian Hall of Fame is about honoring the rarest of the rare. Those very special individuals who've pushed the boundaries of success in their chosen fields and have become aspirational and inspirational for others. Through this award, we strive to create role models for the Indian migrant community in their adopted home. The community takes great pride in the honor bestowed upon their brothers and sisters and show their collective appreciation at events like ours tonight. May I invite Prime Minister Jacinda Aredern, External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar, Honourable Foreign Minister Danaya Mahuta, Honourable Transport Minister Michael Wood, Mayor Phil Goff, Chris from NIB, and Honorary Consul of India, Bhav Dhillon, to the stage, please. Request High Commissioner of India, Srimati Neeta Bhushan, to also join us, please. And now may I request Dr. Jaishankar to announce this year's inductee into the Indian Weekender Kiwi Hall of Fame and Prime Minister Aredern to present the award.
The inductee this year to the Hall of Fame is Ms. Priyanka Radhakrishnan.
Priyanka Radhakrishnan to the podium, please, to give a vote of thanks.
Tēnā koutou katoa, namaste, sat sri akal, salamu alaikum, kem cho, nisa bulavanaka, and in my mother tongue, namaskaram. Can I just begin by saying a huge thank you to Pav and the team from Indian Weekender for organizing the Hall of Fame event year after year. It's great to be back, and also to this year's jury for the honor. There's a Māori whakatauki or proverb that says, e hara takutoa, I te toa takitahi, engari he toa takitini, which translates to success is not one's own, but the work of many. We stand on the shoulders of those who have gone before us, and I pay tribute to all those who have broken molds and ceilings and paved the way for many of us to be here today. Can I also acknowledge those who have contributed to making me who I am today, my family. My husband Ewan always hates it when I single him out, but I mihi to all of our partners and spouses and family members, because often they keep the home fires burning and allow us to do what we do. So a huge thank you to all of them. Can I also thank all of you in the room, many of you who have supported me for many years along this journey. Can I also thank my colleagues, the boss, Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Jacinda Aredern, because honestly, without you, I wouldn't be a minister. So thank you for that. And it's only thanks to you that we have the First Minister of Indian origin. So huge thanks to all of you as well. Finally, can I just acknowledge the two countries that have a very special place in my heart, India and New Zealand, the land of my birth and my home. And I just want to say that many of you and Minister Jaishankar, many across India, sent me messages across various platforms when I became a minister to say congratulations to someone they didn't know at all. And I think that says more about them than it does of me, their generosity of spirit to someone they felt was their own but was in a land far away. We have a long-standing and warm relationship that dates back to the 1800s, but equally deeper contemporary connections through our people here today as well. So I look forward to the deepening of that relationship between the two nations, and once again I say a huge thank you to you all. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Thank you.
Many thanks. May the dignitaries please proceed back to their tables. Another big hand for Priyanka Radhakrishnan on winning the award tonight. It's time now for the grand finale. The Sanj group reflects the meaning of Sanj, which means working together in peace and harmony. Sanj are here to perform a Punjabi folk dance.
Thank you. ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੰਨੇ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਰਹਿਣਿਆਂ ਚਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਕੁੜੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਲੀ ਕੱਟ ਪੀਂਦਾ ਗੋਰੀਏ ਨੀ ਅੱਜ ਕੁੜੇ ਬੋਤਲਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੋ ਪੱਕੀਆਂ ਗੜਬੀ ਆਓ ਗੜਬੀ ਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀਏ ਟਰੂ ਸਕੂਲ ਨਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਔਜਲਾ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਡਰ ਵੀ ਨੀ ਸੂਟ ਤੰਗ ਗੋਰੀਏ ਨੀ ਸੂਟ ਤੰਗ ਗੋਰੀਏ ਨੀ ਤੇਰਾ ਪਰ ਮਿੰਗਮ ਦਾ ਦਰਜੀ ਨੀ ਲੰਡਨ ਚ ਕੋਠੀ ਜੱਟ ਦੀ ਨੀ ਕੁੜੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਨੀ ਜਦ ਮਰਜੀ ਨੀ ਲੰਡਨ ਚ ਕੋਠੀ ਜੱਟ ਦੀ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਨੀ ਜਦ ਮਰਜੀ ਨੀ ਲੰਡਨ ਚ ਕੋਠੀ ਜੱਟ ਦੀ
May I now finally call upon Dev Nadkarni to propose a vote of thanks. Dev is the founding editor of the Indian Weekender and has earlier worked with the National Business Review and has been a commentator in the New Zealand media, including New Zealand Herald on South Asian and Pacific Island affairs. One note, I'd like to request all of you to please be seated until the announcement of the conclusion of the official proceedings is made and dinner is announced. Please welcome Dev Nadkarni on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute privilege and pleasure to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this wonderful occasion. I, on behalf of the Indian Weekender Hall of Fame, and on behalf of myself, would like to thank a number of people and organizations for helping make this event a success. First of all, our sponsors, NIB, Buffer & Thompson, ANZ Bank, the Indian High Commission in New Zealand, Universal Granite, Kiwi-Indian Immigration, Slumber Zone, 0800 Mandap, and 5-Star Print. And to the dignitaries, Prime Minister Right Honourable Jacinda Aredern, Honourable Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar and Mrs. Jaishankar, High Commissioner Mrs. Neeta Bhushan, Mayor Phil Goff, Ministers of the Crown, Members of Parliament, dignitaries, our guests from India, Mr. Satnam Sandhuji and Himani Soodji, and the NIB Foundation. Our performers, venue partners, the Cordis Hotel, our technology partners, tonight's wonderful MC, Kadambari, and our wonderful Indian Weekender team. Thank you all, especially to everyone who's assembled here to look at these awards, to participate in these awards. Thank you very much and enjoy the night.
Thank you, everyone. We'd like to announce dinner, but we're going to stagger it. So we'll start with requesting tables 1 to 14 to proceed towards dinner. And shortly after, we'll stagger it with the next preceding 15 tables. So please, everyone seated between tables 1 to 14, if you could make your way to the lavish 5-course dinner that's been set out for us tonight.
काशनी दुपट्टे वाली मुंडा सक के इंज कर तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी
मुझे कुछ दिखाई नहीं देगा सिवाय उस जिंदगी की जो मैंने तेरे साथ बितानी है सब कुछ जान लिया तूने मेरे बारे में अच्छा बुरा जैसा भी हो प्यार करता हूँ जैसे आप होते हैं प्यार तो जताए कैसे पास मेरे आए मैंने बाहों पे दिल की चोरियां तेरी हो गई
जिगड़दा तेरा मुख देखिया रूह होई आंदे वानी अखां विच नींदर ना पैंदी दिल विच आ बेचैनी इंज करा तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी इंज करा तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी कदे कदे मैनू भुख नहीं लगदी कदे कदे मैं बहुत ही खावा कदे कदे तेनू दूर मैं करदा
तू आके देख ले ओ मैंने रातें कितनी सारी तेरी यादों में गुजारी सोनिए सोनिए तू आके देख ले ओ मैंने रातें कितनी सारी तेरी यादों में गुजारी सोनिए सोनिए तो आ गए हम तो आ गए हम तो आ गए हम सनम तो आ गए हम तो आ गए हम तो आ गए हम सनम DJ Ricky
प्यार ना बड़े काम की चीज है मतलब सो तो स्माइल से उठो तो स्माइल से अंदर आओ तो स्माइल से बाहर जाओ तो स्माइल से इसकी रिलेशनशिप नहीं हुई ना उसने लाइफ जी नहीं पाई
बंधन के मुटियारा आया बटोला बनके कन्ना दे विच पिपल पतियां बाही चूड़ा खनके बंधन के मुटियारा आया बटोला बनके कन्ना दे विच पिपल पतियां बाही चूड़ा खनके अब जब तब रंग बरसे सन 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 बरसे
चलिए चुप माही चुप है राजा बोले कैसे मैं राजा बोले कैसे मैं राजा राजा बोले कैसे मैं राजा बोले कैसे मैं राजा चुप माही चुप है राजा राजा मैया मैनू याद आवे सुन जाए बन ही गया खुद को मुझे तू सौंप दे मेरी जरूरत तू बन गया मैं चला तेरी तरफ तू चले और कहीं मैं चला मैं मुड़ा तेरी तरफ मुड़े और कहीं तेरी झलक शर्फी शिवली नैना मदक बर्फी तेरी झलक शर्फी शिवली बातें कर दो हल्फी एहसास की जो जुबान बन गए दिल में मेरे मेहमान बन गए आपकी तारीफ में क्या कहें आप हमारी जान बन गए तेरे तो ने हाल करन नु फिर देने काल उम्र दी हौली हड़ियां तू नि बच के रह जीवाने के लिए रोज मांगे मन्नत है नियत क्या चीज है उतना देंगे जन्नत है काश ऐसा हो सकता रब दे मेरी पे जांदी तेरी जगह पे जानी मौत मैनू ले जांदी अब जब तब रंग बरसे है सन 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 बरसे है हमारा यारा बोले हमारा प्यार तू नहीं हो दिल लगा मैं तेरा बन walking to the
Can we have tables 15 to 29? 15 to 29 can proceed to dinner, please. Tables 15 to 29.
छूट के हंसेगी मोती होंगे मोती राह पे कोई अपना लगता है कि सपना लगता है
बन जाना जो कम पड़ जाए सांसें तू मेरा के बन जाना रिमझिम सावन की बूंदें तू हर मौसम बरसाना जो कम पड़ जाए सांसें तू मेरा के बन जाना
दिल को करार आया तुझ पे प्यार आया पहली पहली बार आया ओ यारा दिल को करार आया तुझ पे प्यार आया पहली पहली बार आया ओ यारा
Yo love करूँ कुड़ी तुझे सरेआम कर लिया था तेरी बदनाम खुल खुल जाए जैसे पर्दा पर्दा देखे कोई देखे जैसे पर्दा पर्दा
दिल क्या करे जब किसी से मरती होने
गलिए रे बिन तेरे जान मेरी गलिए रे गुजारी गलिए रे बिन तेरे जान मेरी गलिए रे कभी अदती जिंदगी में यूं ही कोई अपना लगता है कभी अदती वो बिछड़ जाए तो एक सपना लगता है ऐसे में कोई कैसे ये आंसू को बहने से रोके और कैसे कोई सोच दे everything's gonna be okay
नाले चली कर जाना लोकां विच कल्ली कर जाना सट ते तो जग किथे होनी बिन पीते टल्ली कर जाना ए मुंडे पागल ने सारे क्योंकि तुम ही हो गल्लां वड्डियां वड्डे वाले अब तुम ही हो ए मुंडे पागल ने सारे गल्लां वड्डियां वड्डे वाले उमर दी हौली अड़िए तू नहीं बच के
थोड़ा थोड़ा प्यार हुआ तुमसे कि थोड़ा इकरार हुआ तुमसे कि ज्यादा भी होगा तुम्ही से कि थोड़ा थोड़ा प्यार हुआ तुमसे
क्या करे जब किसी से किसी को प्यार हो जाए जब कहा कब किसी को किसी से प्यार हो जाए
बस एक हाँ के इंतजार में रात यूं ही गुजर जाएगी अब तो बस उलझन है साथ मेरे नींद कहाँ आएगी सुबह की किरण न जाने कौन सा संदेश लाएगी रिमझिम सी गुनगुनाएगी या प्यास अधूरी रह जाएगी
You're in the mix with DJ Dave.
My baby, my Valentine. And I hear the Ricky, my temperature, the earth. If you leave me, I could die. I swear, you are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be your love ain't it, not me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your coffee. I want to eat my kawishi. Open up, make I see one. Come along, one, two, if you make a bad man sing, no. मोहब्बत में यूं हद को पार किया फिर क्यों हो पल के झुकाए वहाँ मोहब्बत में यूं हद को पार किया तुमसे भी ज्यादा तुमसे प्यार किया $1,000 I spent for your head talk on the once I don't care what you said no matter I'm the one that carry for my head feel like that you are one that carry to my bed you could be my partner, never rise alone. And we can do I'm okay, no need to worry you. I don't know what you're doing, no, yeah, baby, carry go, carry go. आके देख ले सोनिए I need somebody who can love me and my one I got my peaches out in Georgia I get my weed from California जे तू मेरी ना होई मेरे यारा मेरी गल्ला होगी मशहूर करना कभी तो मुझे नजरों से दूर किथे चलिए तू किथे चलिए जानदा है दिल ये तो जान दिया तू तेरे बिना मैं ना रहूं मेरे बिना तू किथे चलिए तू किथे चलिए मेरे तो यकीन है तू कर ले शायद तू कुड़ी नी मिट्टी मिट्टी मैनू लगदी जहर दी कुड़ी नी पीछे मेरे आवे बस पीछाना है तो मेरा चांदी वो शक्ल सोना है I got my peaches out in Georgia, oh yeah shit I get my weed from California, that's that shit I took my chick up to the north, yeah, badass bitch I get my light right from the source, yeah, that's it I got my peaches out in Georgia I get my weed from California I took my chick up to the north, yeah, I get my आके देख ले ओ मैंने रातें कितनी सारी तेरी यादों में गुजारी सोनिए तू आके देख ले ओ मैंने रातें कितनी सारी तेरी यादों में गुजारी सोनिए somebody who can love me and my one no I'm not perfect but I hope you see my worth 'cause it's only you nobody knew I put you first and for you girl I said I do the work मैं तेरे बिना मर जाऊंगी मैं कुछ ऐसा कर जाऊंगी जे तू मेरी ना होई मेरे यारा दुआवा मंगदा मैं तेरे लिए दुआवा मंगदा मैं जिथे जिथे जावां हीरिए संग तेरा परछावां मंगदा मैं लड़दा रवां ज़माने नाल लड़दा रवां सितारे मोहब्बतां दे तेरी चुन्नी उते जड़दा रवां काटू कैसे राता तू सावरे सखियां ने मैनू मार दिया बुढ़िया ने गला च प्यार दिया जिया नहीं जाता बाबरे शाम तू किते नाल होया देखिया मैं फोटो दिखा दिया डर जिया लगदा ए दिल टूट ना जाए बेचारा तेरे यार बथेरे ने मेरा तू ही है बस यारा And I will lie awake, taking you तेरा लंबे यार कटे तेरे संगे यार तेरा लंबे यार कटे तेरे संगे यार But you be left in the dust unless I start fire you're the sunflower I think your love would be too much but you be left in the dust unless I start fire you're the sunflower you're the sunflower
ऐसी जुड़ गई कहानी कि जुड़ जाता जैसे दो नदियों का पानी मुझे आगे तेरे साथ बहना है जाना तुम्हें तो है ये बात जाने के जिंदगी कैसे बनती सुहानी मुझे हर पल तेरे साथ रहना है जो तुम ना हो तो हम भी हम नहीं जो तुम ना हो तो हम भी हम नहीं न चाहिए कुछ तुमसे ज्यादा तुमसे कम नहीं जो तुम ना हो सोनिया भी लगने की और बीमारियां गाना ने जगह टकरातियां वालियां आगे देखी लब लब के में हारे दे तू गाना चल कोई आज ताता कर मैं सब कुछ हार तेरे तो दूंगा सब कुछ वार तेरे तो दूंगा आखिर च जान तेरे दूंगा अपनी जिन्ना तेरे पावे पहली बार दूंगा तू ट्रम्प दी बरका है मैं ओबामे बरकिया तन्नू क्यों लगदा कि मैं किसी ड्रामे बरकिया तू चीज प्यारी है एनु संभाल रखिया कर मेरा तू ही तू है अपना ख्याल रखिया कर बनके तुसी बटरफ्लाई किथे नू चले हैगा कोई बॉयफ्रेंड जा तुसी भी कले मंगनी ता नहीं हो गई मंगनी ता नहीं हो गई हत्था विच छले हैगा कोई बॉयफ्रेंड जा तुसी भी कले
Come on. सजना तेरे बिना सजना तेरे बिना
हवा में उड़ने लगे हैं हुआ पराया जी आधे हैं जागे आधे हैं सोए कहाँ ले आया जी दिल हवा में उड़ने लगे हैं हुआ पराया जी आधे हैं जागे आधे हैं सोए कहाँ ले आया जी जब से तुम मिल गए रास्ते खिल गए खुद से लड़ने लगे हम संवरने लगे Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave beside me 'cause I want you and I need you but I'm down for you always crazy. Do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave beside me 'cause I want you and I need you but I'm down for you always.
When my head not that thing in my chest they got their hands at my neck this time but you're the one that I want if that's really so wrong then they don't know what this feeling is like and I say yeah 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 yeah
ये दीवानापन देखो जरा तुम हो अकेले हम भी अकेले मजा आ रहा है कसम से Can we can't मुझे कैसे पता न चला कि तू अपना करदा I said blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep till I feel your touch me better when I'm with you.
You're in the mix with DJ Dave.
ना मारेगी दीवानगी मेरी ना मारेगी आवारगी मेरी कि मारेगी ज्यादा मुझे मौत से नाराजगी तेरी
Cheers to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not. 'Cause it just bring back all memories.
It's a really nice chance to showcase the diverse community that we have here in New Zealand and the wonderful contribution of New Zealanders of Indian heritage. And I think clearly Prime Minister's agenda is about reaching out to these people and acknowledging them, but also celebrating the two-way conversation that's happening between India and New Zealand about the relationship and about how we can grow together.
Right. Awesome. And I think since Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into power, the conversation between a lot of things between India and New Zealand in terms of bilateral trade or in terms of how strengthening the relationship could work, because during the times of COVID, in the pandemic, it was the first Air India flight that was landed onto the New Zealand soil for the very first time to pick up Indians who were stranded here. So how do you feel about those things?
I really don't have a comment on those things.
Oh. Okay, no problem, Susanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's fine. Hello everyone, this is Saurabh Singh, and tonight I have with me Helen White, who's the Member of Parliament from the Labour Party. So first of all, a very warm welcome to you, Helen.
Hello, it's lovely to be here. It's a very beautiful night and we've had a really lovely time, and it's just really important that we strengthen the relationship between the two countries.
Awesome. And I think when I talk about strengthening the relationship between India and New Zealand, I think that's happened quite more. I think the bilateral talks and trade, all those things have come to the table more since Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into the power. So what do you think of that?
I went to India 25 years ago, and it's a very different place now, isn't it? It's very much it's very bursting with life and hopefully wealth coming up, which is wonderful to see.
Awesome.
It's an amazing place. I'd love to go back, and it's just really nice to strengthen those relationships with a country that's democratic.
Awesome. And today was the Sadbhavna event, which was the launch of Prime Minister Narendra Modi book. What do you think about this book launch that we had?
Well, look at the book. I haven't seen it yet, but yes, we heard all about the book, and I'll definitely give it a good read.
Awesome, Helen. Thank you so much for talking to us, and have a lovely evening. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen.
What's the event? What do you think about Narendra Modi ji's book launch today?
I mean, this was one of the great events. I would say you guys have perfectly balanced the book inauguration as well as the Hall of Fame award nights, and all the dignitaries, the guests came. मैं ऐसा ही कहूँगा कि if somebody does good work for the community, the way you have arranged the book launch, people getting the positive message to the Indian communities and also the worldwide community. I would still suggest you keep doing same thing again and again, and we love you guys doing the great work for the India and Indian communities.
And in the recent times, you would have seen the bilateral relationship between India and New Zealand has grown tremendously, if I may say so. And this is all under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So what do you feel about that?
It's perfect. It's a perfect environment. There are 5-10% elements who are disturbing their countries, but of course, in democracy you always get like this. But we are very positive with the current government and also the New Zealand's relationship with the India.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Now I have Raf Mandi with me here today. So Raf, very warm welcome to you for this event. What do you feel about Narendra Modi ji, who's the Prime Minister of India, the book launch that we had just a few minutes ago? What do you think about the event?
It's really exciting. I mean, I think my takeaways today, having attended the morning event with the Minister of External Affairs, is this new confidence that India has. It seems to have found its place now within the global spectrum, that it can express itself more, it has more confidence in what it's about, and we know it's doing great things in terms of technology, innovation, enterprise all around the world. But there's a sense that India as a country is now coming to the fore, and you can see that here tonight, you can see that in all the conversations, you can see that in the book, and yeah, that's really exciting.
Oh, awesome. And in the recent times, since Prime Minister Narendra Modi came into power, the bilateral relationship between India and New Zealand seems to have significantly improved because of a lot of trade talks happening every year. So what do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, it has, but I think a lot of that is also to do with the relationships and the individual relationships and the diaspora that's here. So the Kiwi-Indian relationship is very strong. People are going backwards and forwards all the time. The government is starting to realise and invest in that, and that's really critical, putting resources into our relationship in India with the High Commission over there and Trade Commissioner in Mumbai, and I think that will extend and grow over time.
Awesome. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks for your time. Cheers.
Thank you, Ralph.
Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. You'll just make them drop dead, you a killer. Shower you with all my attention. Yeah, these are my only intentions.
Indian Weekender, and now I have with me Tracy from Sambason.
Yes.
All right, Tracy, a very warm welcome to you. How do you feel about the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's book launch in the evening that happened?
I think it's absolutely fabulous. I'd love to get a copy. It's very interesting, and I was intrigued.
Awesome. And I think over the time with the Kiwi-Indian diaspora that we have in New Zealand, that the bilateral relationship between two countries, India and New Zealand, has grown significantly under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. So what are your views on that?
Well, I'm an immigrant myself, so I think it's fabulous that there's that camaraderie, and yeah, I think it's
Cool.
great.
You had a good time tonight?
Awesome.
Right.
And of course, I love Indian food and I love Indian people.
Some
so
were served already.
No, that's just pure sugar. I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah. But now there's some really good butter chicken as well, Tracy, if you want.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
going to give it a bash. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Thanks for your time. Namaste.
Picture perfect, you don't need no filter. Throw you in my heart wherever you go. You'll just make them drop dead, you a killer.
Hello everyone. This is Saurabh from Indian Weekender, and now I have Bharat Chawla with me.
Hi Saurabh, how are you?
I'm good. Bharat, how are you?
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you too. And Bharat is one of the pioneers of education, if I may say so, for Indian diaspora in New Zealand. So a very warm welcome to you, Bharat, in this fabulous event that we had. What do you think about Narendra Modi ji's book launch that we had in the evening?
That's a very, very great book, and even I'm getting that book, sure for that. It's a lot needed to be seen, what Modi have done, or Modi ji have done in past 20 years in his all area, and we need to see that how it can be implemented in for the next 10 years, and like how New Zealand can learn from it too. So it's a lot to be seen, and even all the young diaspora of Indian origin should go through that book, and that's what should be my suggestion to you.
Right. And since you work in the education sector, getting a lot of students from overseas, especially India, what do you think the connect with the Prime Minister that we have, Narendra Modi ji, the connect he has with the youth at this point of time seems remarkable, and it's a feat that is not achieved by any other Prime Minister in the world. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that if you see Modi, we know that India is growing, and that whole part is that when we see that book, when the journey, every youth can see that yes, we are going to the right direction, and we want to show that yes, I come from India and I belong to the place which is growing, which will be a new world in next 50 years.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bharat. Thanks for your time. Have a lovely evening. Sharp.
Yeah,
Hi.
Stuck in my stomach.
Oh, yeah, likewise. Hi guys, hello everyone. This is Saurabh from Indian Weekender, and now I have with me Simon Bridges. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Hey, great to see you.
Cool. So, what do you think about the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's book launch that we had in the evening just now?
I think it's fantastic. You know, it's just another representation of a warm, special relationship, 70 years of diplomatic relations. And so I think the fact that this special book that's got real significance, that's a special book, is launched here in New Zealand, that's something that I think all New Zealanders, not just Indian New Zealanders, can say, you know, that means the relationship's in good heart, it's going well.
Absolutely awesome. And the event today was named as Sadbhavna, which means courteous and warm. And if I may say so, the bilateral relationship between India and New Zealand seems to have grown significantly in the last 5 to 8 years since Narendra Modi has come into power. So what are your thoughts on that, and where do you think this growing under his leadership?
I think it is getting better. You know, I've been very heartened by the fact we have, you know, the Foreign Minister, the Minister of External Affairs here. First time we've seen that in over 20 years. I think that's a good sign. And this morning at a breakfast with him, I thought his words about New Zealand, his sense of the possible, what can happen in business, in education, in the wider relationship, left me very optimistic for the future. Now, you know, I suppose the way to say it is the door is open, but New Zealand still has to walk through that visit, keep fostering the relationships. But I think businesses, I think communities will do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Simon, for your time. I hope you had a lovely evening.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
चिट्टा कुक्कड़ बने रहते इंज करो तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी काशनी दुपट्टे वाली मुंडा सक के तेरे इंज करो तारीफ तेरे चेहरे दी
मुझे कुछ दिखाई नहीं देगा सिवाय उस जिंदगी की जो मैंने तेरे साथ बितानी है सब कुछ जान लिया तूने मेरे बारे में अच्छा बुरा जैसा भी हो प्यार करता हूँ जैसे
हाँ कोई बात नहीं इधर चलो आ जाओ राकेश भाई पटेल छे मैडम मैडम वीडियो चल रहा है मतलब હેલો આપણી સાથે રાકેશભાઈ પટેલ છે રિટેલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં કામ કરે છે અને એમની પાસેથી આપણે જાણીએ કે નરેન્દ્ર મોદી ઉપર જે નવી બુક રિલીઝ થઈ એમના વિશે એમનું શું માનવું છે રાકેશભાઈ વેલકમ ટુ ઇન્ડિયન વીકેન્ડર
હાય કેમ છો ચિરાયભાઈ નરેન્દ્ર મોદી માટે જે નવી બુક લખાઈ છે એમાં નરેન્દ્રભાઈ મોદીએ જે પોતાના કેરિયરમાં જે સારા કામ કર્યા છે અને પ્રોબેબલી શીખ કોમ્યુનિટી માટે જે કામ કર્યું છે એનું વધુ પડતું ડિસ્ક્રાઇબ કરવામાં આવ્યું છે અને જે એચિવમેન્ટ છે મોદીજીના ડ્યુરિંગ એમની પોલિટિકલ કેરિયરમાં એનું બધું જ સંપૂર્ણ વિવરણ એ બુકમાં કરવામાં આવ્યું છે
હું દર્શકોને બતાવી દઉં કે 2 બુક્સ લોન્ચ થઈ છે એક હાર્ટફેલ્ટ અને બીજી જે ગવર્નન્સ ઉપર છે એ પણ એક બુક લોન્ચ થઈ છે તો રાકેશભાઈ તમને કોઈ એવો આઈડિયા ખરો કે તમને કોઈ એવો અનુભવ ખરો જેમાંથી તમને લાગે કે પહેલાંની સરકારોની કમ્પેરિઝનમાં નરેન્દ્ર મોદીએ ગવર્નન્સમાં કોઈ આમૂલચૂલ પરિવર્તન કર્યું હોય
ખૂબ પરિવર્તન કર્યું છે જે છેલ્લી 70 વર્ષમાં કોઈ પરિવર્તન નહીં થયું એથી વિશેષ પરિવર્તન છેલ્લા 10 વર્ષમાં નરેન્દ્ર મોદી સરકારે કર્યું છે અને આપણને ખબર છે એમ કે સારા એવા ઓવરસીઝ રિલેશનશિપ પણ મોદીજીએ વધાર્યા છે સારી એવી ટૂરો પણ પહેલાંના ગવર્નન્સ કરતાં કરી છે અને સારો ગ્લોબલી એમને વિકાસ કર્યો છે ઇન્ડિયાનો
રાકેશભાઈ જતાં જતાં છેલ્લે એકાદ એવું કોઈ કામ કહી દો જે ગુજરાતમાં નરેન્દ્ર મોદીએ 2001માં સત્તા સંભાળી એની પહેલાં જે નહોતું થતું એમણે ચાલુ કર્યું હોય એવું કોઈ એકાદ કામ તમારા ધ્યાનમાં આવે છે
નરેન્દ્ર મોદી સરકારે એક કામ એવું કરેલું 24 કલાક વીજળીનું ગુજરાતમાં કે ત્યારથી 24 કલાક દરેક ઘરમાં વીજળી પૂરતી પડે છે
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ રાકેશભાઈ. તો આ હતા આપણી સાથે રાકેશભાઈ પટેલ. તેઓ રિટેલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીમાં છે અને તેઓ બતાવી રહ્યા હતા કે ઘણા બધા સારા કામ કર્યા છે, પણ સૌથી મહત્વનું કામ એમની દ્રષ્ટિએ એ છે કે જે 24 કલાક વીજળી ગુજરાતમાં મળી રહી છે એ નરેન્દ્ર મોદીનું કાર્ય સૌથી સારું એમને લાગે છે. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. થેન્ક યુ. અત્યારે હર્ષદભાઈ પટેલ જોડાઈ ચૂક્યા છે. હર્ષદભાઈને આપણે પૂછીએ કે નરેન્દ્ર મોદી ના ગવર્નન્સ ઉપર જે બુક લોન્ચ કરવામાં આવી છે એમના વિશે એમનું શું માનવું છે? હર્ષદભાઈ.
આઈ એમ સો પ્રિવિલેજ. મને એક તો હું ગુજરાતી તરીકે જી, અને બીજી વસ્તુ એ કે આપણા દેશના વડાપ્રધાન જે બન્યા, વડાપ્રધાન બન્યા અને જે આપણી દેશની પ્રગતિ થાય એમની અંદર ખરેખર આપણે ગુજરાતી તરીકે તો અભિમાન લઈએ અને એક ભારતીય તરીકે પણ આપણે અભિનંદન લઈએ. ખરેખર એમને, એમની ગવર્મેન્ટને આપણે અભિનંદન આપીએ.
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. હર્ષદભાઈ એવું કહી રહ્યા છે કે નરેન્દ્ર મોદીનું જે કાર્ય છે એ એઝ અ ચીફ મિનિસ્ટર હોય કે ભારતના પ્રધાનમંત્રી વડાપ્રધાન તરીકે હોય એનાથી એક ગુજરાતી તરીકે પણ આપણને ગર્વ થાય છે, એક ભારતીય તરીકે પણ આપણને ગર્વ થાય છે. તો હર્ષદભાઈ, તમે સ્ટ્રેટેજિક વિઝન શું ભારત સરકારનું જોઈ રહ્યા છો? ક્યાં જોઈ રહ્યા છો ભારતને આજથી 5, 10, 15 વર્ષ પછી?
મોદીજી પહેલાં ભારતની ઇમેજ એટલી બધી ખરાબ હતી અને ઇન્ટરનેશનલી ભારતને કોઈ જાણતું નહીં હતું. જ્યારે મોદીજી આવ્યા પછી એમણે બધા પ્રવાસો કર્યા જુદી જુદી કન્ટ્રીમાં અને ભારતને આગળ લાવવા માટે ઇકોનોમિકલી કે બિઝનેસ વાઇઝ ઘણી કંપનીઓ પણ આજે ભારત માટે ભારતમાં એ લોકોને સફળતા મળે છે અને સફળતા મળશે.
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ હર્ષદભાઈ ફોર સ્પીકિંગ ટુ ઇન્ડિયન વીકેન્ડર.
ब्रजेश पटेल इनका
તો મિત્રો આપણી સાથે હવે બ્રિજેશ પટેલ જોડાઈ ચૂક્યા છે. રિયલ એસ્ટેટની દુનિયાનું બહુ મોટું જાણીતું ચર્ચિત નામ છે. બ્રિજેશભાઈ પાસેથી આપણે જાણીએ કે આજે જે 2 પુસ્તકો રિલીઝ કરવામાં આવ્યા છે, એક છે ધ લીગસી ઓફ ફેથ હાર્ટફેલ્ટ અને બીજી છે ડ્રીમ્સ મીટ ડિલિવરી, જે નરેન્દ્ર મોદીના ગવર્નન્સ ઉપર લખવામાં આવી છે. એ બંને બુક વિશે એમનું શું માનવું છે? બ્રિજેશભાઈ, થેન્ક્સ ફોર સ્પીકિંગ ટુ ઇન્ડિયન વીકેન્ડર.
થેન્ક યુ ફોર ગિવિંગ મી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી. પહેલી વાત તો એ કે આપણે જ્યારે પ્રધાનમંત્રીને જ્યારે જોઈએ તો વી ઓલવેઝ સે કે યસ, હી ઇઝ કમિંગ ફ્રોમ અવર સ્ટેટ ગુજરાત, બટ વેન what makes us proud કે જ્યારે આપણે આપણો જ વ્યક્તિ દરેક કમ્યુનિટીને સાથે રાખીને આગળ ચાલે છે એ જ સૌથી મેઇન ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ફેક્ટર છે કે ગુજરાતી એમને બેક કરી રહ્યા છે અને ટુ બી ઓનેસ્ટ કે અમારું એટલું બહુ નસીબ સારું છે કે એમના પીરિયડમાં અમને લોકોને એરા મળી રહ્યો છે અને સ્પેશિયલી થેન્ક્સ ટુ મોદી ગવર્મેન્ટ્સ કે જે લોકોએ પોઝિટિવ ઇમેજ જે ઇન્ડિયન કમ્યુનિટી હતી બહાર જે હતી નેગેટિવ હતી એને પોઝિટિવમાં ક્રિએટ કરી એમના કર્મ દ્રષ્ટિના કારણે જ્ઞાન દ્રષ્ટિના કારણે કે એમને લોકોને પહોંચાડ્યો સંદેશો કે જે ઇન્ડિયન ફિલોસોફી છે ઇન્ડિયન કલ્ચરલ હેરિટેજ છે એ કેટલું પાવરફુલ છે અને કેવી રીતે વર્લ્ડમાં પીસફુલ કરી શકે છે અને અત્યારના માહોલમાં જોઈએ તો નરેન્દ્ર મોદી જેવા પ્રાઇમ મિનિસ્ટર અત્યારે ઇન્ડિયાને કદી નહીં મળે અને આવનારા મને નહીં લાગતું કે 100 વર્ષ સુધી કોઈ બીજું મળે.
બ્રિજેશભાઈ, છેલ્લો પ્રશ્ન. સ્પેશિયલી શીખો સાથે એક રિલેશનશિપ સ્ટ્રોંગ કરવામાં, સ્ટ્રેન્થન કરવામાં એમણે ઘણો પ્રયત્ન કર્યો છે. પેલું કોરિડોર ઓપન કર્યું, બીજા બી ઘણા બધા એમણે પ્રયાસો કર્યા છે. તો એના વિશે તમારું શું માનવું છે?
આમાં એક જ વસ્તુ કહેવા જાય કે હું જ્યારે ઇન્ડિયન હિસ્ટ્રીની સ્ટડી કરતો હતો અને અત્યારથી જોઈએ તો મને નહીં લાગતું કે કોઈ પણ ઇન્ડિયન પ્રાઇમ મિનિસ્ટરે આટલું બધું વેલ્યુ શીખ કમ્યુનિટીને આપ્યું હોય. એનું રીઝન છે કે શીખ કમ્યુનિટી ઇઝ વન ઓફ ધ બિગેસ્ટ કમ્યુનિટી હેઝ કન્ટ્રીબ્યુશન ઓવર ઇન અવર ફ્રીડમ ફાઇટર્સ અને એ જોઈએ છે કારણ કે શીખ કમ્યુનિટીઝ દે ઓલવેઝ વર્ક ફોર ટાયરલેસ વિદાઉટ એની સેલ્ફ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ એને અને દરેક માટે કામ કરે છે અને આપણા પ્રધાનમંત્રીએ જે શીખો માટે આટલું બધું વેલ્યુ આપ્યું છે એ એવું કોઈ નહીં આપી શકે અને હું હજુ પણ કહું છું કે શીખ કમ્યુનિટી માટે જે મેસેજ પ્રધાનમંત્રીએ આપ્યો છે એ એના સિવાય બીજું કોઈ જ નહીં આપી શકે.
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ બ્રિજેશભાઈ ફોર સ્પીકિંગ ટુ ઇન્ડિયન વીકેન્ડર. તો આ આપણી સાથે હતા બ્રિજેશ પટેલ. રિયલ એસ્ટેટની દુનિયાનું બહુ મોટું નામ છે. થેન્ક યુ.
Just to the food. You add it to everything you do. I learned that flavor.
Knock on some wood, maybe. We'll see. Oh, it's very bright.
Hello friends, so we have Erica Stanford with us. She has been playing very active role in the community and she has been instrumental in pushing the government to apply the RV 2021. Erica, thanks for speaking to Indian Weekender.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been an amazing night.
Film 2022.
Oh, it's been amazing. This is my first time at this event. I've unfortunately not been able to make it before, but it's been incredible. I can't believe how many people were here tonight. Over 600? Yes. That's an incredible amount of people for your first time back after, 2 years away?
Yes. And Erica, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar delivered a speech as well. What do you have to say about the speech?
You could tell what an amazing man he is. So well respected. He really spoke with gravitas, didn't he?
Yes.
You could hear a pin drop. Everyone was hanging off every word. You could tell he was a real diplomat.
Yes.
A wonderful man.
Erica, any words about the books that have been released tonight?
Yes, well, a 20 years celebration and written by a Kiwi-Indian, I understand. So, yes, I got to hold a copy of it earlier to help promote the book. So, look, it's a wonderful celebration of a wonderful man who's had 2 decades,
in the office,
an incredible work that he's done.
Last question, Erica. Am I talking to the future immigration minister?
Well, I don't want to jinx anything. I mean, I'd be very honoured to be the future immigration minister, but we'll see how next year pans out. But fingers crossed.
Thank you, Erica, for speaking to Indian Weekender. Thank you.
ठीक है, अब जैसे सिक्कों के लिए हमने बुक लिखी है.
From acorns grow great
cricketers. He is just like a young Tendulkar.
Like a young Tendulkar?
Hey, Samir, what I think we need to do is just remember to watch the ball all the way.
Come on, India.
Come on, Black Caps.
Come on, India.
Yes.
These Kiwis had strict again.
Straight bat, chin up, eyes front.
Beta, you could play for India. I like that one.
That's really
Man. Hi, Samir. I got a new jersey.
Suits you, Papa.
Indian weekenders' heart beats in Auckland's buzzing Aredern, and its pulse is felt far and wide across Aotearoa and beyond by the...
जो बुक रिलीज हुई है द लीगेसी ऑफ फेथ हार्टफेल्ट, उसके ऊपर ये बात करना चाहते हैं। मैं उनके साथ जब ऑफ द कैमरा बात कर रहा था तब मैंने उनसे पूछा कि नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार ने और स्पेशली वजीर आजम नरेंद्र मोदी ने सिखों के साथ जो एक आउटरीच किया है वो पहले कभी नहीं हुआ, अनप्रेसिडेंटेड है, तो उस पर सर आप कुछ बताइए।
हाँ जी, डेफिनेटली जो कुछ हमने 1984 में सफ़र करा है, जो प्रीवियस गवर्नमेंट जो मोदी साहब से पहले थी, आई थिंक प्रॉब्ली उनके बारे में जितना कम बोला जाए उतना अच्छा है, क्योंकि हमने इतना ज़्यादा सफ़र करा है कि हमें घर बार छोड़ना पड़ा, कुछ हमें इंसाफ नहीं मिला, कुछ कंपनसेशन नहीं, कोई कुछ नहीं, किसी ने केयर नहीं करा। लेकिन हेड्स ऑफ एंड ग्रेट टू मिस्टर मोदी, इन्होंने जो सिखों के लिए करा है और ऑब्वियसली सबका ध्यान रखा, और जो उसके बाद में इतने सालों के बाद जो अब इंसाफ हो रहा है, आई थिंक उसके लिए नरेंद्र मोदी जी को लाखों लाख धन्यवाद है। हमारे दिल से दुआ है कि हमारे लिए आगे आने वाले समय में भी वो ऐसे ही काम करते रहें, और जो सिखों के लिए किया, तो स्पेशली थैंक्स टू नरेंद्र जी। मैंने इनकी कई वीडियोस देखी हैं, कई जगह जब हरमंदर साहब में गए और जब पगड़ी पहनते हैं, या जो रकाबगंज गुरुद्वारे गए, इंडिपेंडेंट गए, किसी के साथ नहीं गए, वो एक दिल को छूने वाला माहौल था, मूवमेंट था, हमें को बहुत अच्छा लगा उस टाइम से। आई विश हिम ऑल द बेस्ट, और हो सकता है 1924 के छोड़ के 29 तक ये हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने रहे।
पाजी ने दिल से दुआ दी है नरेंद्र मोदी जी को। सर, इसकी वजह क्या है? वो इतना अच्छी तरह से कनेक्ट क्यों करते हैं सिखों के साथ, स्पेशली जो पंजाबीज हैं उनके साथ स्पेशली वो इतना ब्यूटीफुली कनेक्ट कैसे करते हैं?
मेरे को लगता है सबसे अच्छी बड़ा बात जो है मोदी जी की, वो दिल से सभी के साथ बात करते हैं, वो अपना समझ के एहसास करते हैं कि ये चीज़ इनके साथ गलत हुआ है, इसलिए वो आगे बढ़कर उनके लिए काम करते हैं। नॉट ओनली उनके दिल में सभी के लिए प्रेम है, बट लेकिन क्योंकि वो इस चीज़ को समझते हैं हमने सफ़र करा है और इनका साथ देना चाहिए और इनके बारे में कुछ सोचना चाहिए, और डेफिनेटली इंसाफ इनको मिलना चाहिए, और जो वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो हो सकता है आने वाले समय में भी और कुछ उनके लिए दुआएं हमारे लिए निकलती रहेंगी।
थैंक यू सो मच। इन्होंने दिल से दुआ दी है, और इस पर दो पंक्तियां सुन लीजिए। दिल से जो बात निकलती है असर रखती है, पर नहीं ताकत परवाज मगर रखती है। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
Transcending the language and demographic barrier, and thankfully our audiences have honored us with this privilege and responsibility.
The team at the Indian Weekender continues to innovate, connect and engage with our audiences to remain relevant in...
I'm going to ask about Hall of Fame and 2 books. So friends, we have got David Simmer with us. He is the leader of ACT Party, and we are going to ask him about Hall of Fame 2022 and especially 2 books that have been released tonight. Hello Mr. Simmer, thanks for talking to Indian Weekender.
Hey, thanks, and thank you for having me at this wonderful event.
Our pleasure, sir. What are your initial thoughts about the Hall of Fame 2022?
Oh, look, I like Priyanka Radhakrishna. I'm really pleased to see her honoured. I'm really pleased to see, once again, the best of New Zealand. A community of people who came here for opportunity to build a better life, celebrating all that is good. You know, there's so much dragging down in New Zealand. We need to lift up, and tonight is a really good example of that.
Certainly. So, Mr. David Simmer is saying that we need to fill up the atmosphere with positivity. We don't need to pull up each other's legs. Yeah. And what about the 2 books that have been released tonight, sir?
Well, look, I never comment on a book I haven't read, but I heard a bit about what they were saying.
Yes.
And what I got from it is that in Prime Minister Modi, you've got a person who has inspired a very close following from many millions of people. And I hope that those people are getting well served by him. I hope that he is doing the best for the world, because India has a very important role to play, not just for the Indian people, but for the whole world. We need a strong democratic power in the Indo-Pacific, and the Indian continent has the ability to provide that.
Certainly. Any special message for the community and for the diaspora?
Look, we welcome you. New Zealand, at its best, is a modern, multi-ethnic,